And welcome to Upon Further Review. I'm Josh Aubrey. Plenty to get to in this week's show. You've got the Southeast Bulloch Yellow Jackets' regularly scheduled game Friday against Bryan County. It was canceled. They found out on Wednesday that the Redskins had too many COVID positive tests to be able to play the game. That game is canceled. Next up for Southeast Bulloch, they'll be taking on Grovetown next Friday at Fred Shaver Field. Of course, it was supposed to be senior night this upcoming Friday. That has been moved to the Grovetown game instead. As for the Statesboro Blue Devils, they're coming off a tough 12-6 season opening loss at Swainsboro. They'll be looking to rebound this week as they're hosting the always tough Houston County Bears Friday at Womack Field. Bulloch Academy coming off a big win this past week. They're off this week. And the Portal Panthers will be looking for their first win of the season as they'll be hosting winless Trutland County coming up Friday at the Portal Athletic Complex. As for the Georgia Southern Eagles, their game last week with Florida Atlantic was canceled due to COVID positive tests for the Owls. This week, the Georgia Southern Eagles are set to hit the road for their Sun Belt opener against the number 19 ranked Raging Cajuns of Louisiana. We'll hear from head coach Chad Lunsford and a couple of the players. We'll also hear from Billy Napier, the head coach at the Raging Cajuns, who used to be the quarterback at Furman, played a couple games against Georgia Southern, including the 1AA semifinals back in 2001. We also have some high school softball action to bring you. All that and more coming up in just a moment. And a reminder before we go to break, hopefully you'll never be in an accident, but if so, please give our friends at the Sullivan Law Firm a call, 912-489-8888, or online at thesullivanlawfirm.com.
The Medical Center Pharmacy on Grenade Street is proud to be your Health Mart pharmacy in Statesboro. The Medical Center Pharmacy, locally owned and serving this community for 50 years, is open 364 days a year. The pharmacists at Medical Center know there's nothing more important than your family's well-being. That's why they take the time to know their customers, explain their medications, and answer any questions. The Medical Center Pharmacy, your Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Well, the Georgia Southern Eagles disappointed last week as they were supposed to have a home game with Florida Atlantic. That game has been postponed. They're hopeful to be able to make that up on December 5th. This week, the Eagles get into Sun Belt play as they'll travel down to Louisiana to take on the Raging Cajuns, currently ranked number 19 in the top 20. We had a chance to talk with head coach Chad Lunsford, a few of the players about the matchup.
We're working on being physical, especially on the offensive line, being physical and fast, because this is going to be a physical game because Louisiana is a really good team on all three phases, on offense, defense, and special teams. So this is a game that we have to be locked in to every detail and locked into all of our assignments.
Like I tell y'all all the time, man, I don't really focus on that ranking stuff because them rankings can't save you in the white lines. And they're a good team, good offensive line, good defensive line. They get it done in the trenches. They got a lot of good skilled players. They can get the job done. Levi, the quarterback, I don't know him personally, but I follow his game a little bit. I like the way he plays. So it'll definitely be a challenge. He's on the road. That being said, there's everything else going on in the world. So we good. Just prepare hard this week. We're ready to go.
I want to see. I'm like seeing them on film. Like they look good, but they just make me want to play them more because I like competition. Like the better the competition, I'm gonna bring it anyway. But the better the competition, I believe the better the defense is. Make us more connected and live because we have to focus in, dial in more.
So excited about this week, excited about the opportunity to be on ESPN2. Going to go against a very good Louisiana team that, if you ask me to describe them, I would say talented, well-coached, a 60-minute football team that believes they will win. So this is a big-time challenge for us. Looking forward to seeing now. We were hoping last week would be game 2. But obviously this week will be game 2 and looking how we improve from game 1 to game 2. I'm excited to get Wesley Kennedy back, excited to get CJ Wright back, excited to get like an Emil Smith and a Bo Johnson. Those guys haven't played a whole lot for us, but have definitely shown that they should play for us. And then also being able to get a little bit more depth in the secondary, being able to get a Darryl Baker back, being able to get a Ephraim Kitchens back, guys like that. I still think we got to be pretty realistic also. You get those guys back, and now you better make sure that they're in game shape. How many snaps can they play? Can they play at a high level for a certain amount of snaps? I think that's important, and that's something that we got to gauge this week. But excited about getting guys back, but we also got to see where they're at and make sure that we're being smart with how much we play them and how we do with them. Obviously, we got a really good opponent in Louisiana this week. I know our guys are very focused and very locked in to that, and I do expect them to play a better game this week, and I expect us to be better as coaches. I expect us to be better as a program. But shoot, man, when you go play your best game and you play clean, you play discipline, you play tough, that should give you an opportunity to win the game. But if they do the same thing, it should be an awesome 60-minute fight. You don't see many weaknesses on the team, but I think it all starts with their quarterback. I think Levi Lewis is a tremendous athlete. I think he can throw the ball. I definitely know he can extend plays and keep things going. And then, if you're able to contain him, I don't know if you could ever stop him, but if you're able to contain him, now you got to deal with the really good running back crew that they have. And their offensive line does a really good job of, establishing the run and stuff. But I do think that first and foremost, you got to work to contain the quarterback and try to make sure that he's not extending plays, extending drives because of what he can do. The receivers will give us a great challenge. We're obviously young in the secondary. We have got to get better from game 1 to game 2 in that area, and we got to make sure that we're ready to go up against some really good receivers. So, again, I think it's playing within ourselves, being smart that we don't overload them. One thing that can happen, when you get an extra day or two, going into a game, coaches sometimes have the problem of being, the curse of genius and trying to be too smart. And we got to be very mindful of what our guys can do, make sure we give them a great game plan, let them be confident, let them go play fast, let them go play hard, let them go play tough, and know that Louisiana's going to make plays. And when they make plays, we got to respond, but we got to make more plays than them. And I think that's got to be the mindset.
One of the interesting side notes of this game, offensive line coach Ron Hudson used to be the offensive line coach at the Raging Cajuns at Louisiana. His son David is currently an offensive lineman at the Raging Cajuns. We had a chance to talk with him about the interesting matchup.
Last year was the first year that we were across the field from each other, and they got the better of us on that day, and I was disappointed in the fact that we didn't come away with a win, but it was fantastic to see him. It was great to see him in the uniform. Great to see him after the game and to hug his neck. It was kind of funny. It was a personal moment for he and I. And I look around and there's a bunch of people taking pictures and a bunch of people that care a lot about both of us, that are invested in it, that came over to shake our hands and to take pictures of us and with us. And I didn't realize how many other people were looking forward to seeing us united and seeing us kind of hug each other's neck and that care a lot about both of us.
And as for Louisiana head coach Billy Napier, we had a chance to talk with him about what he expects from the Eagles on Saturday.
Well, they challenge your communication, your discipline, your fundamentals. It's the ultimate test of team defense. I think that they got a running back playing quarterback that can throw. and they do a number of things to create one-on-one scenarios, right? You got to tackle really well in the open field. You got to have good discipline and decision-making at the point of attack and on the perimeter. A number of different blocking schemes, whether that's direct runs or perimeter runs where you got to play cut blocks. And then you got to have good eye discipline so that they don't slip up and get one behind you in the play action game. So it's unique. It's a challenge, and it's one that, presents a number of issues, and we've got to get ready and have good prep. One of the things that's often an issue when you play teams like this is simulating it in practice, right? So the big burden this week will be on our offensive scout team to try to give the best simulation we can for the players, the coaches and GAs that organize that, and also the players that will execute that in practice. It's a big part of the puzzle for our team this week.
All right, stay with us. Plenty more to come. We'll hit the high school scene.
My Queensboro banker is Cheryl Quick.
Blanchard Equipment Company has 16 locations.
Queensboro has homegrown values just like us.
They get heavily involved in every community.
And that means strong customer service.
They've been around a long time, just like John Deere.
When you run across the bank like that, you stick with them.
I sure would like to own one of these John Deeres.
Well, we can sure make that happen.
Oh, well.
Queensboro is your community bank. Queensboro National Bank and Trust.
The folks at the Georgia Southern University store want all Eagle fans to know the Statesboro campus of the University store will be open Saturday, September 12th from 11 a.m. until 3:30 p.m. and Saturday, September 19th from 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. Both Paulson Stadium stores will be open for window and counter service with a selection of Georgia Southern apparel from the time the gates open until the end of halftime. Web orders from the full selection of Georgia Southern apparel, hats, gifts, and tailgating items may be ordered for free pickup at Paulson Stadium at the Homeside store during game day hours. Web orders must be placed by 1 p.m. on Friday for each of the first 2 home games. So don't forget, for all your game day and Georgia Southern needs, shop the University store on the Georgia Southern campus. Our Southeast Bulloch segment is brought to you by Scott's Floor Covering, passionate to floor you for all your installation needs with over 30 years of experience. Please call Joel Scott at 912-536-2107 or email scottsfloorcovering@yahoo.com for a free quote today. This segment is brought to you in part thanks to After Hours Glass Service, LLC, where they truly believe that if you don't take care of a customer, somebody else will. Wishing much success for the Yellow Jackets 2020 season. Well, as we mentioned at the top of the show, the Southeast Bulloch Yellow Jackets game with the Bryan County Redskins was canceled due to some COVID positive tests. We did have a chance to talk with Southeast Bulloch head coach Barrett Davis about how the Jackets played this past week, a tough loss to Telfair County, and how they're hoping to rebound soon.
I mean, they played a great game, and we came out kind of flat, I thought, and traveling, we had to go about an hour and 45 minutes down the road, and we just we're down 14-0 at half. Couldn't get much going offensively. We had a lot of opportunities offensively we just didn't cash in on, and so we've got to get better in the passing game and get better in the running game. We can't keep living on the big plays and hoping for that. We've got to be able to sustain a drive and be able to move down the field and make plays and do things that way. But we got to get back to basics, especially on defense. We've missed way too many tackles and didn't line up right several times, and it ended up costing us. So all things that we practiced during the week, we just didn't execute, and they played better than we did on Friday. I think that we definitely took a step back when it came to little things that we need to improve on. We didn't tackle well Friday. I thought we got better from game 1 to 2 there. But just lining up and reading keys defensively, we did not do well. And everybody's missing key players at certain points due to quarantine or things like that. So I'm not going to even say any excuses with that. We were missing a couple, but I'm sure everybody is. So, but we've got to have guys that can step up and pay attention during the week and do a better job of retaining game plans and executing game plans. It's got to be going from the practice field to the game field. So, we got to get better on all fronts.
Friday night lights to early morning deer stands, Anderson's General Store in Statesboro is your tailgating and hunting headquarters. Boots from Ariat, Georgia Boot, Irish Setter, Wolverine, and more, we have a pair for you. Check out our Costa and Ray-Ban sunglasses. And apparel from Columbia, Carhartt, and Drake. Dove, ducks, deer, we have all your hunting needs. And tailgate with a Big Green Egg or Traeger grill. Pack in the flavor with delicious sauces and rubs. Anderson's General Store, a general store, and so much more.
Ready for fall? Us too at RJ Pope. Get ready to cheer on your favorite team in a new performance polo from Peter Millar, Southern Tide, and AFCO. Ladies, we have the best brands and trending fashions. Complete your look with one of our best-selling shoe brands, Soft, On Cloud, and Free People. Shop these brands and so much more at one of our 3 locations, RJ Pope Buckhead, Downtown, and Vidalia.
As for the Bulloch Academy Gators, they're coming off a big win this past week, a 38-34 victory over Tift area at home. Quite a shootout. Rodney Hill, the story of the game, 197 yards receiving, 108 yards rushing, and 4 touchdowns in the game. We had a chance to talk with Bulloch Academy head coach Steve Pennington and a couple of the players about the big win last week.
Well, I hope it was exciting for them in the second half, because the first half had a lot to be desired. We started out the game great, on a good note, scoring on the second play, and then Tiff had a long drive and scored, and then we were moving the ball again, and it just seems like after that drive we started shooting ourselves in the foot. But yet we still maintained an opportunity to score some, in which we did, but we would continue to give up big plays to Tift throughout. Really the matchup with them was a little difficult for us with their passing game and spreading us out. But anyway, we finished on a good note right there, the interception to keep them out of the end zone at the second, right at the second quarter, and ended up with a field goal to give us a little momentum before the half. One thing I'm really proud of is the adjustments that we made at halftime, is that our guys went back out and executed much differently than the second quarter, and kept them off the scoreboard till late. They had put up 26 points in the first half and only 1 touchdown in the second. So really our players adjusted well we changed up some things in our front and on the back end, and we ended up with 3 interceptions. So things started going our way. But at the same time, we had to execute, and we did that offensively and put some points on the board. After the Cavalry game, we went back to the drawing board to see where our weaknesses were, where our strengths, and one of the things we did is we cut out a lot of things. We went into the game with really basically 4 offensive plays and try to get good at one thing, and rather than having a lot of things that may be mediocre and causes confusion. So we simplified things. Our blocking assignments were much easier, and not only that, it showed up in the game to the point to where we executed a lot better. But that's Coach Woodard did a great job of recognizing some things here, and we just went back to the drawing board, erased a lot of things, and got good at it, and that's basically what happened, and I think that's one thing that helped us along the way.
I feel like we did good on Friday. We just had a lot of offensive changes. We had when we played against Cavalry, we knew they were going to be a tough opponent, and they was really stopping the run a lot, stopping me going left and right, everybody. So we really just went back on Monday. The coaches changed it up, put in like 4 offensive plays, and I moved out to receiver, and then we just start diamonding it like that and made it better on the team. I like receiver more than just running left and right. I like getting out there and doing my thing. I like going to receiver more. I just let it come to me, really. Coach Pennington just tell me, he was like, don't try to go out there and, just do too much. So I just was out there. I was just feeling it that one night. Just had my night. That was it.
I feel like we had a little chip on our shoulder after that game. I felt like after we beat Savannah Country Day, we felt really good about ourselves, and we were going into the Cavalry game feeling a little good. And the outcome was not what we wanted, and I just felt like we played a lot harder this past week. we had something to prove to them after they took us out of the state playoffs last year. We definitely see it a lot more. We made some changes on the play calling and stuff, and I feel like it was the right thing to do.
Family Internal Medicine Associates of Statesboro, providing primary care for Statesboro area patients since 1998, providing complete physicals, complete sports physicals, Medicare wellness exams, full diabetes treatment, and education from lifestyle changes to oral medications to insulin pump therapy, in-house dermatology, in-house circulation tests, and ultrasounds, and in-house labs. Featuring nurse practitioner Melissa Beasley, Family Internal Medicine of Statesboro can accommodate same-day or next-day appointments to serve your needs. Family Internal Medicine Associates of Statesboro, where we care.
No credit refused isn't just an offer, it's a way of business and has been for over 100 years. No banks, no ridiculous credit requirements, just local Badcock store owners who treat you right and give you credit when others won't. It's never been easier to express your style and love your home.
Well, the Statesboro Blue Devils waited a while before they were able to get their first game under their belt. They lost to Swainsboro, had some bright moments in their 12-6 loss. We had a chance to talk with David Nismith about the game against Swainsboro and the upcoming matchup with the Houston County Bears. We also hear from some of the Blue Devil players.
Well, it was what you would expect playing your first game. A lot of mistakes. And a lot of questions going into it that were answered. Defensively, I thought we played great at times. Other times, we needed to make some improvement, make some tackles that we missed. We missed a lot of tackles. Offensively, disappointed in the output. Not what we were expecting, but we've got some things to clean up. And the great thing about it is when you go back and look, everything that the mistakes that were made are things that we can correct, and that's what we've worked on starting yesterday, is working on us and getting us corrected, and looked a little bit at Houston County, but today will be more focused on them. Josh Coach Hill is our offensive coordinator, but has not called plays since he left Bradwell 5 years ago. And it takes a little bit of adjustment getting back into it and getting back into that routine. I thought our best drive of the night was the last drive we had. We get down there and we get that holding penalty. We're inside the 10. But that's going to come. It's just like my role, trying to do what Jeff normally does. Is I was out of place Friday night. I was kind of not knowing where to be and what to do. And we talked about that as a staff on Sunday, and we made some different things that we're going to do this week as far as that goes, as far as our responsibilities on the sideline and responsibilities during in-game decisions.
Have you been able to communicate with Coach Kaiser? I know he's out of the hospital. Will you be communicating with him from time to time?
I talked with Coach Kaiser Saturday night for 30 minutes. At no point in time did we discuss football, and my being that I want him to get better quick. I know how he is. He gets uptight, and I want him back here with us as soon as possible. So I'm trying to keep things. I'm not hiding anything from him. I'm not keeping anything from him. If he asks, I would answer, of course. But I want him to get better quick, and I know if some of the things he puts on himself and it gets him uptight and gets his blood pressure going. So we're keeping it as low key as we can.
All right, well, you've got Houston County coming up, first ever meeting between the two teams. They've played 3 games already, 2-1. What have you seen that's got you concerned, and how do you see the game Friday?
They are a very good football team. They are very, very big up front. They average 275, 280 across the front. Their defensive linemen come after you. They get after it. Very athletic to be that big and can run. Their offense has been has started becoming a little more productive the more games they played. So we're going to have our hands full Friday night up front on both sides of the football. But I like our kids' attitudes this week, and we had a good practice yesterday.
Is there anybody that stands out for them, particularly on offense or defense?
Defensively, there's three of them. Number 55, 97, and 96 are there are three defensive linemen that really stand out. And they've got a good linebacker core, and their secondary is pretty strong as well. Offensively, I think they've got a young quarterback, but you can see him coming along and making progression as the season goes along. And their run game looks like it's starting to come around. So we're going to have to shore some things up, keep working, and hopefully come out with a win Friday night.
I just feel like we have a chip on our shoulder because we didn't perform the team that we thought we could perform at the level we thought we could perform at. So, first game, no excuses though. So this week we're just trying to just knock all the mistakes out and just move on from it. It's in the past. That first game was definitely an adjustment for me on that side of the ball instead of the other. But yeah, I feel like the first game was good for everyone just to get back in the swing of things, and especially all this COVID, we've just been practice. So it was good to get that game and go ahead and get some experience for guys that haven't got experience on Friday nights yet. We definitely figured things out towards the end. We all kind of came together and knocked off the rust, and that last drive was definitely a lot better than the ones before, and we're going to build off that.
I feel like we played okay, but there's so many stuff we could always improve on, get better at. Like we had missed tackles, we could always improve and get back. It was definitely it was our first game, so it was like a warm-up for us. So, I guess get back in the swing of things. We had too many missed tackles, and we could have had more turnovers. Home game, so hope we get the W. It's a pretty good football team, but like Ames said, we're a good football team too, and so we're coming to play.
That'll wrap things up for now. We thank you for joining us. Hope to see you again next week.